Okay, hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen here in the audience, as well as you by the TV screens or phone screens watching live video streaming. My name is Dana, and I'm from the Latvian National CERT.LV registry, NIC.LV, if you don't have a domain name registered. And for the next hour and a half, I'll be moderating, I have to say, the best session on today. It's called Eyes Wide Open. Well, it will cover two topics, cyber awareness and human evolution. We'll have two speakers from Switch and PricewaterhouseCoopers who will tell you more about how to train your cyber awareness, how you, our generation, can train our organizations or our teams and do it in an interesting way through gamified training, right? But we'll also have a speaker from iPro who'll talk more about our new generation, about youngsters and students, and how to grow and teach them to be cyber aware and students and professionals. And are we growing as a human evolution in this area, or are we degrading in this area? So as we have live video streaming, please, if you have any questions, wait till the end of the presentation. And we have a special trained microphone specialist here, Christians, there. He will smoothly pass you the mic and you can ask your question. But if you're not in the mood of standing up and talking, or if you by the TV screens want to ask a question, it's possible. Just go to menti.com. It's not Menti, it has nothing to do with police. So you freely go to menti.com, enter the six-digit code, and I'll receive your question. It's an anonymous question, and I'll be gladly tell it to the presenter. Okay, so that's it from me. So I would like to ask. Yes, you can still come in. Yeah. I would like to ask Matthias, who I think is on a mission on teaching each organization different hacks how to hack hackers. Right? Am I true? Okay, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my talk is about security awareness and escape rooms, and I want to give you a look behind the scene how we set up our Hack the Hacker awareness room experience, where we send up to 6 participants on a mission to hack the hacker. Just to get in the mood. We just heard before that security awareness should be a little bit more like marketing, and that was a little bit of our take on this. But first off, who are we actually? Switch, we are a non-profit foundation in Switzerland that runs the National Research and Education Network, but we also run the registry for Switzerland and Liechtenstein. Our main, come on. Oh. Can you go one slide back, please? Our main customers is obviously our academic community, but we have also a larger extended research community which connect a lot of industries that are closely related to research. But we also have commercial customers in finance sector, in industry, but also because of the registry we have strong community and connections with the government as well. As a as a company or a foundation, we provide more than just security. We have a large set of applications and IT services that we provide mainly to the academic community, but also to other sectors. Security is just a small part of this, which is currently comprised of 3 teams providing the services of Switch CERT, where we provide security services to different sectors. And one of the most important things which we consider is that these are trusted communities, because only if you have trust, you start to care, and only later you're willing to share. But that's about who we are. Getting back to it's now on. To Hack the Hacker. What is Hack the Hacker? Is an awareness experience that takes roughly about 2 hours. It's for up to 6 people, and our target group are not only security professionals. It's targeted at general employees, students. We also had pupils, essentially anybody that wants to participate. This training is separated in 3 parts. First, we have a training part, what you saw before, where people get some basic education to get the skills and the knowledge that later they can apply and succeed on the escape room. The second part is the escape room, where they have to solve puzzles and apply the knowledge that they previously gained. And the last part is a review part. That's what we consider actually one of the most essential parts, because it's not only to get the participants down again after they're completely hyped after solving all these problems, but also that they link the knowledge that they had at the very beginning with the experiences they made afterwards, and also review what they just learned. This is a typical picture when they try to solve problems in a team. We currently had over 350 participants. We're probably now closer to 400 since last August. We had over 50 runs of this experience. And internally, we use it also as part of the onboarding program. So every new employee, they get grouped together and they go through this basic training. One of the next development steps that we had, because not everybody could come to us to get this experience, they said, could you come to us? Could we come to them to provide this experience? So we packed everything up, put it into boxes, moved out, went to DINIC, we went to the French part of Switzerland, we went at Fishbot, we presented it, and we also went to the Italian part of Switzerland, so we could provide a local experience. The feedback that we received was thoroughly positive. It really varies what people expect, but everybody was really excited of doing it. One was just actually very interesting, that actually after the users came to the security people and asked them about password management. It's usually security people want to force users to use password management, but in this case it turned around. So it really engaged the people. But our main point is to give you a view behind the scenes. How did we develop it? Where did we start? How did we manage to build our first escape room? Now it's... somehow there seems to be a little bit of I pressed it only once. Yeah, maybe. Well, they're fixing it. So obviously first had to start off with getting the knowledge. So we looked at this guide. You can just do the next slide, please. So there's a guide on how to build escape rooms. So escape the game, how to make puzzles and escape rooms. That was the essential basic guide that we started with. Then the next resource after you have the guide is the people. Maybe. So you set up a team that you develop and later want to run the escape room. So we had several people out of security, but as we heard before, we also had people out of communication and awareness. So communication, very important for marketing, and awareness that actually have all this, do the right teaching aspects. But this is not only a security and marketing and presentation matter. These people bring so much more. So multidisciplinarity, so of the different departments, different people, and they also bring a lot of private skills with them that you can benefit. So we have some people that brought some gaming know-how, some people have more like business know-how, somebody was really good at programming, and also obviously communication skills. But then the set of this team that you put together will also determine the possibilities what you later can do. If you only have technical people, the escape room will be very, very technical. If you only have communication and training, then it will be very focused on the training, but it might not be very realistic regarding the technical aspects. Very important point is also the enthusiasm. You might have somebody who's very enthusiastic in building such an escape room, might not know anything about escape rooms, might not know anything about IT security or awareness or communication, but still strongly consider this person because this person is very highly motivated and can bring very new interests and aspects to the escape room. So after you have the team, you also have to get into the groove or mood. What does actually mean? So what do you want to put the people through? So best you experience it yourself. So what we did was we took the team and they went through an escape room themselves, on a local one, where they were breaking out of a prison. So they experienced what type of puzzles, maybe leads and so on, what you had. So after you had that, the workshop. The essential workshop is basically like a cooking book out of this book, where we first need to get what do we actually want to achieve, and in the second part, what we want to realize. So the objective that we wanted to achieve was raising the interest in IT security, because usually people are like, this is security, they'll just want to block myself, so we wanted to get that they're have a positive experience with IT security, not just say no, 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 see something positive with it. Also, we always hear about, yeah, the hacker was it, it's the government, you anyway can't do anything about it. We want to demystify that this is also just a person, uses also the same tools as our security team uses, or normal IT people use. It's not some kind of magical god. And also get rid of reservations is like, there is a pop-up, I can't do anything anymore, I'm not an expert. So no, actually you're a user, you can do stuff. You should be able also to do stuff. So not just like it's security, it's only for the specialists, you also can do stuff about security. Then second objective was that people reflect their knowledge about IT security they heard in some theoretical trainings, apply that knowledge, also review the knowledge at the end, and obviously also improve on the knowledge. The following things that we had to keep in mind. We wanted to use our restrictions, existing resources that we had, so the skills that we have, so we couldn't hire extra new people, rooms, locations were in our offices, maybe we already had devices, or many other resources that we already have we should use. The setup for us had to be flexible. We have a showroom in our offices, but it can't be there permanently, because we need the rooms, the space for also other stuff. So you had to be we can build it up, but we also have to be able to pack it. And also, like when we went mobile, the whole thing had to fit into boxes, so we can't have whole furniture that we take along. We also said it should be fun for everybody, not only technical people, not only for management, and definitely also not for pupils. So it should be something that addresses, there is something interesting for everybody in there, and it's solvable for everybody. We limited the time duration for about roughly 1 hour. This should give us, with the 2 hours, as I said before, enough time for a little bit of training before to prime them that they can succeed, and time for review at the end. The following topics we chose: phishing, social engineering, the typical things that most people now face, most things that people should do, backup, encryptions, password security, updates. But we also threw in there some other things which you maybe more see out of some police shows, like dumpster diving, and yeah, ask the experts. You don't have to solve everything yourself. So, okay, we have the topics. So what theme we want to approach? So when you look up some kind of hacker movies, something, most often some kind of pictures like this show up. It might not be all correct or so true, but it's what people associate with it. It gets people into the mood. And so we thought about what kind of scenario would fit into this. So we took a cybercrime scenario. It's for most companies or organizations phrase that on some kind of level. And at that time, ransomware was also rather big, so it was actually a really burning issue for the organizations themselves. So now we have what we want to do, the theme. Now we still need some kind of settings. What are the 10 must-haves to create the vibe? So then you have the absolute minimum things that you want to have in the story to create the whole atmosphere. Later you can still add things, but then you make sure that you really have the basics. So if you just Google image search regarding cybercrime, ransomware, and some kind of hacker, we see some kind of hooded figure, somewhere cyber, the anonymous, so Guy Fawkes mask of Anonymous, lots of locks, skulls, red screens with a lot of code-like stuff on it, and obviously hooded figure. So we chose the following 10 things. There definitely must be a computer. There needs to be some kind of computer screen. And everybody knows hackers don't have time to cook, and they only live on pizza and Red Bull and other chips and other junk food. To create a local atmosphere, we decided for posters of some kind of movies, games. There may be some kind of code printouts, and definitely, there absolutely must be a hoodie. Most of these people in this space, also there is some kind of electronics, some kind of cables, electronic plunder, blinking LEDs is what people associate with it, a little bit like a dark cave with these blinking lights everywhere. So we want to have some cables, USB sticks, devices. To bring in this padlock stuff, there should be a safe with some kind of PIN code. People like this also, puzzling, so we want to have a Rubik's Cube and the Guy Fawkes mask. So now we still need a storyline. So now we have some basic atmosphere pieces, and now we need a storyline by which the participants later can reach the goal step by step. So like in every story, you need a starting point, you need the end, and you need a way to reach that part. So first, starting point and the end, but then you make tiny steps. Some of them you maybe have to fix because it can only happen there, it can only happen at the end, can only be at the beginning. But then you fix these step goals, and with each of them you can associate one or more puzzles. There are many different types of puzzles that you can do. You can do some logical puzzles, you can do some codes, but maybe not too complicated codes, especially when you think about it should be for everybody, should be rather simple, but some kind of encoding. Puzzle combinations, you have to solve A, you have to solve B, and then you can combine the results to get the resolution and get a step further. Also very important is your teamwork. So this can be simple things that something is on a plate on one side of the wall, but you have to put in something on the other side. So actually 2 people have to cooperate, because cooperation security, very important. So in our case, this looked like this. So we had again the start and the goal. Then we had all these different parts and pieces that we had on the way, and the different puzzles that we associate with it. And in pink, we also have the security or the awareness topics that we wanted to address. So that we really make sure that we actually have them in there, not that we are so lost in now these awesome puzzles and awesome tasks and completely forget about our initial goal. So now we have all this technical stuff, or kinda technical stuff, but you need, in the end, a lot of other things, and this is, we need information, we need to spread the news that we have this training. So definitely for that you need a good name. You need to choose how do you want to moderate it, how you want to operate this training. You need a website with certain introductions, maybe thought about pictures of participants, additional information, what else is out there, where you can find other information, so not only about this, so people can inform themselves even more, and obviously how to contact us if they want to book the training. Flyers to hand it out, and definitely stickers, and even more stickers. So we chose Hack the Hacker as a name because it grabs people, but it's not so directly with security. We chose a team of 2 people to run it, which is quite a lot, considering that it's 2 to 6 people. But that way, we always want to have a technical and a less technical or non-technical person involved, because if you have a team of non-technical people, more IT security technical-driven person might not be able to help them because it just might not understand the language, what they actually ask for, or where they are stuck, because for us it's so obvious. For the website, we decided to scrap the picture of the participants because it should be part of their achievement. And also, we are doing awareness, so it shouldn't be that you paste now and post everything online if you're doing security awareness. The following tips: we wanted to avoid the name security in the title. It was our experience. If the moment you put somewhere security in the title, what happens? Oh, this is IT security, and they send the techie experts, security people. And these are not the people that we wanted to address. We want to get everybody else also involved, not only the experts. You will still get the security people, but maybe less. We also hand out them at the end of the training a short summary of tips that also can help them in the puzzles. So a little bit like best practices, what should be a password, or maybe also what not to do is a little bit like a hint that they can take along, which also gives them a good feeling of the training, but also gives them a little bit like a feeling of stability during the escape room. And the team picture, we decided for making Polaroid pictures, so something analog. And but it's a huge boost to team morale and spirit that they do something after they done it. They may have this really happy moment that they memorize and basically like put it to archive that they can always remember. So we produced our flyer describing what it is, what to expect, where to contact us. We also created the website where we also put the movie to get people interested in it with additional information on it about other maybe TV shows or movies that could get some people interested in it. Yeah, we produced the movie. Luckily here we also had additional resources in-house. We had somebody that is usually programming websites, but he's very interested in making movies and making cuts and cutting movies together, where we also have our photographer that helped us much with the movie. So now we have the marketing part in place, so we also now can start realizing the escape room itself. And we still needed a lot of stuff, because you have like the transport boxes or the safe. We also wanted to have a baby phone and camera that we actually can observe the participants so we know when they're stuck. You need Raspberry Pis for the blinky LED stuff, and many other things like posters that we needed for it. After that, you can start decorating. There we also needed to get the room, so after some haggling, marketing was giving us a little piece of corner of their storage room. So we could start decorating, and then you start running it. I was actually one of the first groups that went through it. I didn't know anything much before it, so we just went in it, and some stuff went actually quite wrong. We solved puzzle 2, 3, and we got stuck on 4, but we actually didn't realize that there was a puzzle 1, because it just was not streamlined yet, so we actually tested internally first. And the more you do it, the more you will notice where people get stuck. So we started to create checklists. So what do we have to tell people? What do you need actually for preparing? Where does exactly have this little code sheet go? It needs to go in the hoodie in the left pocket. And all this, you can really go through it and check it. And also in the end about the tip management. So now we have around 50-minute mark, they should be roughly here. So the following tips you can help them. So maybe tip 1 is a little bit a lighter one, and then maybe a later tip where you really more or less try to really help them that they can move along to make sure that they make it in time. Regarding also here experiences, just because the time ran out, don't end the game, because this will give you a feeling, the participants will get a feeling of failure. So the most important thing is continue, help them with however you can to get them out, and they passed. So we have also the tip management also is all set up that they have the feeling that they succeed. It's really, really important that they feel like that they figured it out, even if they maybe didn't, but they should have the feeling that they found it. Always positive encouragement, no matter how bad they are. It doesn't matter. They need to get a good feeling out of this thing. This is the most important thing. The 4 main learnings to be had from it. Development, like software. Developing something is something completely different than actually later operating it. Because you developed the escape room, but you might get a completely different group than yesterday or 2 hours before. And maybe once you do it with 2 people, once you have 6 people, it's always a struggle how to do that. One thing which we initially forgot is we have 1 day. We can do easily 4 trainings in 1 day. It's 8 hours. But you need also time in between to reset. So one person was holding the training, the other one was scrambling through, setting everything up. And when are you having lunch? So at the evening, these people were quite drained. But these are all learning steps that you make mistakes. What can break will break. So you need some stuff that will break more often, like maybe these code sheets or printout papers, just have them on stock, you just replace them. And also included in the budget. For some reason, we have a Rubik's Cube in there to give this whatever puzzling feel in there. And very often they take it apart. They completely take it apart into all the pieces, and we had it sometimes that we couldn't put it together anymore because it's simply broken. And somehow they think inside there is some kind of hint. There are different types of groups. For some people, it's really a training that is very fun. For some people, we had really security experts. They could hold the training if they wanted to, but for them it's just fun. And accept that. They know the stuff, but they're just there to have the fun. That's also fine. But they just have the group should also know what the expectations are, not that they expect something really big and in the end they are disappointed. We also have some false leads, so a puzzle that doesn't bring anything, that would be actually huge frustration because you ran into a wall. What we found out is again, the candy bar. For a 50-cent candy bar, people do nearly everything. Just put there a little bit of a gummy bear, just a little bit of Haribo or something. This gives them a little bit of a success feeling and a sugar boost to solve the next puzzle. But it's also clear you reached a dead end. You don't have to look here for anymore. So move on to look somewhere else to figure out the puzzle. So what did we achieve? Did we achieve actually our main objectives? So in raising the interest, yes, we really do everything to give this positive experience that people are being part of this. We also think that we managed to demystify the hacker, because he's just this person that lives in this basement or in this room. It might be a little bit, to what people imagine, maybe a little bit like the typical hacker, weird, some kind of nerd person. But he also just eats pizza, drinks Red Bull, eats some chips. He also makes mistakes. We also want to get rid of the reservation so that people actually do stuff themselves. I said people should apply the knowledge in the escape room, review the knowledge we do at the very end, and we also want to give them some new knowledge. So when you look at training, it has 3 aspects. You can either do education, awareness, or training. What does actually the hacker in the end achieve? In our opinion, we get a little bit of education that we can give them beforehand and afterwards, a little bit of training, but mainly it's awareness. So it cannot solve everything, but it can solve certain topics. So what can it do and what it can't do? So what it can do is it can raise the interest of people. It can empower the participants to deal with IT security-related issues. It can also improve the reputation of your organization because, you spread the news out there. And it improves teamwork, which is very important. What it cannot do is equally important. It cannot provide sustained knowledge and training. It cannot educate a large amount of people. We use 2 people to train 4 to 6 people. it just doesn't scale, because there is one room, maybe you can do 2 rooms, but it doesn't scale for large corporations, especially not at a cheap price. You also can't turn it into education. You can't just basically rip out certain pieces and use it as an education. And it can not adapt to new topics very quickly, because you need to make new puzzles. If you have a new topic, you need new puzzles. You have to really develop everything on its own, and it has to still make sense in the whole story. So we cannot just copy this and paste it all over the place. But what we can offer is, if you're interested, that we have this hack the hacker concept, and we can offer to train you on it, help you develop it, and then you can hold this and train your people on this. So if you have questions, either you can directly ask me, or unless you will have it also in the slide, you can best also contact Katja. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Matthias. This was a very interesting presentation. For me, when I drew parallels to sports, it looks like you give like a private trainer, you train the cyber muscle, but they need to work out afterwards themselves to get the results as well. So if you have, are there any questions in the audience? If no, then I can just cut to the questions we received. I have a question about what languages your educational games to sports, and how can they apply for the training?
Sorry?
What languages do they support this escape room? Is it only in...
I think we only run it in English, or primarily in English. Yeah, it should be a language that you're very proficient in it, that you really reach the people. So if you want to do it multiple languages, you need to translate all the documents. We predominantly made it in English. We are also proficient in German and some French. So we try to accommodate the different needs, but yeah, the trainers definitely should do it in the language that they feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. And how can apply for the training?
Yeah, just go on the website, but it's we host it in Switzerland, in our location. But yeah, if you have a set of that, you say, okay, you have multiple trainings, so maybe we can arrange to come to your location and maybe hold it. But yeah, it depends.
Okay.
Depends where.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Here's a little, not a gummy bear, but still.